Game number 1 in the best of 3 series at the semifinals. We have the BOB Ross Fanclub in the winner bracket semifinal going up against Team Blaze. And I've been mentioning earlier how Zagara is extremely popular right now in the North American scene. And it goes to the extent that she is banned out immediately in the game here by the BOB Ross Fanclub. Team Blaze, they have two options. Either ban Kel'Thas or Tyrande, or you ban like a semi-good pick, like something along the lines of a Tassadar, for example, get rid of that, and then leave both of these heroes still open. You could ban an ETC, for example, as well. Then you leave Kel'Thas and Tyrande still open. The BOB Ross Fanclub can only pick one of them, and you have the options to jump into the other one plus X, plus Muradin, for example. But they ban out the Tyrande, so they are quite afraid that the BOB Ross Fanclub is going to pick her up. And we are seeing an opening with Muradin. Now that's something that is more, we see that a lot more often in the Chinese scene. The Chinese really love to start a draft with a tank pick, especially when it comes to Muradin. But it's also a little bit more popular in, I would say, North America than it is in Europe. In Europe you see it every now and then, but North America has definitely sometimes that emphasis on Muradin as a particular hero. He combos, of course, quite well with other heroes that have burst damage, like, for example, a Jaina. That's what you often see. Team Blaze, on the other hand, they go into the Kel'Thas. That was kind of to be expected. We actually supposed that BOB Ross Fanclub would go into a Kel'Thas here, but, well, they did not. It's a very open map, on the other hand, so if you're good at splitting, you shouldn't really take too much damage from those chain bombs, unless, of course, you start fighting for a boss. Also, we saw yesterday a very interesting build, actually, by the Murloc Geniuses on Kel'Thas. Faye played without the chain bombs, but instead with Gathering Power, Flamethrower on 13, and then that double Flame Strike talent on level 16, which was very, very interesting. Completely different style of play for Kel'Thas, but very solid numbers as well. Something that we haven't really seen before. I'm not quite sure if we're going to see it a lot, but it seemed to be a very fun alternative to just playing the same Kel'Thas style over and over again. Uther now as the pick, and that of course with the Divine Shield allows Team Blaze also to go into a melee assassin later on the road if they really wanted to. For the BOB Ross Fanclub, I could definitely see that Jaina now that I've been talking about. You could use that stun and go then straight into the Blizzard and get a lot of damage out with this. If you're playing Muradin, you can also try to still get that ETC. We saw that combo yesterday a couple of times, but you have also the option to ban him out. Either way, you want to make sure that Uther does not get onto the same team as ETC because, well, that's pretty damn good. And you could always think about instead also banning out, yeah, that's the Jaina, instead banning out just simply one of those melee assassins. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Now that we have Jaina locked down, BOB Ross Fanclub, that's really where they have a lot of options. They could go into a false set here, they could go into Arena, they could go extra damage, or simply say, hey, here's our second town, or even play the support at this point already. And as we see a high focus on Malfurion as like counterplay to Kel'Thas, could see him here, but they decide to go for the damage option that I mentioned first. That Reyna that I've just been talking about is being locked down here. It still is would be pretty nice for them, so I suppose, to get their hands on Malfurion here, because they have lockdown with Muradin and Jaina, and if Malfurion uses the roots at the same time, that would be pretty solid. Team Blaze with the bans, we're going to find out what they exactly want to get rid of, but for the BOB Ross Fanclub, it's still the opportunity to get a ban on ETC in there. There's a couple of other heroes, on the other hand, too, that you could ban out. I mean, ETC and Sonya are two heroes that you don't really want to have with Uther. You could go into the ban on like one of those full-fledged melee assassins. Blaze banned out Karazim, and it is a melee assassin ban. It is Zeratul, so ETC and Sonya are both still available, and Blaze has played a lot with Zeratul, but now they have the opportunity to go not only into the Divine Shield Mosh Pit, but even add a Sonya to the mix, which is a very huge amount of damage that you have there, and a lot of aggression too, and with that Divine Shield you can really keep Sonya alive. So two heroes that they could choose to go for. What they still lack, though, is also, well, they could go into a bit of additional damage or range damage, but they start with a Leoric first. All right, so no ETC taken yet. They can, of course, play a double frontliner here, but there's no ETC taken. Maybe that Sonya dropped together with Leoric. Sonya, of course, Leoric with a paralyzing rage on level 7 could provide a bit of slow to make Sonya's life even a bit easier. The only stun that we really see on the side of the BOB Ross Fanclub to make sure that she's going to have some trouble with the Whirlwind is Muradin with the Stormbolt. And we could, of course, also see them with Avatar, that auto-attack, which is very annoying as a Sonya player. If you try to Whirlwind, then Muradin, Avatar Muradin just like moves in, stuns you out with that mini-stun, and you don't get that Whirlwind through. But Blaze with the Leoric already hinting a little bit that they go for also like lane pressure. We could see, I mean, there's still Sylvanas that you have to consider. A lot of the teams in the North American, like in all regions, North America, China, and Europe, have been starting to focus highly on Sylvanas, and there she is, exactly what we kind of expected after those picks. And that normally leads us in the early game also in the attempt to snipe a tower when the game just starts. The BOB Ross Fanclub then on the other hand, I mean, they still need a support. I think on the North American server, it's kind of likely that we're going to see a Malfurion here. Malfurion or Rhaegar are probably the two choices that they are running with. And then they have to make a decision. Do they, for example, play a Tassadar and run Muradin as a solo tank, or do they add a second frontliner to this entire setup? Tassadar would be rather sweet here, so they can use Tassadar plus then Malfurion if they wanted to. Tassadar Brightwing is a very popular option if they want to play a double support at this point. I mean, with Tassadar you also get a fair amount of like damage out. You can even play with a level 1 talent where you just shield those structures, and if you combo that off with a level 7 talent with the Khaldor's Embrace, that's pretty sweet as well. But they go into a Rhaegar, and that could actually lead us into a Sonya on their part even, or maybe a Kerrigan. I would really like to see something a bit more at the front line together with Muradin and Rhaegar here, so that especially Jaina and Reyna also have a lot of space in the back line to dish out the damage. So Kerrigan or Sonya might be picks that would be cool here. There's also, of course, Green Jesus to consider. I mean, if you have that Thrall, then you can use him too. And it might be something that Blaze is currently considering. Thrall, after the recent changes to the scaling, has become very popular. The Chinese scene is played over and over again, but they go for that first variation that I mentioned. They go into the double support. They don't pick that Malfurion that we oftentimes see against Kel'Thas, but they go for a Rhaegar. That Tassadar, on the other hand, still being dropped here to give them the shields. And for me personally, now it's interesting to see if he goes into that level 1 talent where you have that structural shield, where you can just like shield those structures even more against those incoming shots from the temples. It's more talent that we see on Haunted Mines, but it actually makes a lot of sense to use that on Sky Temple too, especially if you plan on going into Khaldor's Embrace here. And so far, there's no real need, in my opinion, to go for any other level 7 talent. I still feel that they have enough damage with the Lightning Shield, with Jaina, Reyna, and also Tassadar with his normal Storm to really get that out. Blaze, then again, they have a pretty solid setup. They could still run that ETC if they wanted to, but if they want to have additional damage, then there's the opportunity for them to head into a false stat, which can be quite nice too. Means that they play Leoric solo, but it is that Thrall that we talked about earlier. Great hero here. Thrall is being played. He has the Divine Shield as well. Kind of liking that choice here. They had a couple actually, like Thrall, ETC would have been good picks in this case, and if they really wanted to go full YOLO with Leoric as the only tank at the front line, which we see oftentimes in China and North America, then they had an opportunity to go into a false step. But that Thrall makes a lot of sense here. It's a great hero to take, and they are probably going to have a lot of fun with him, considering that Uther should be able to keep him alive throughout those team fights. Game number 1, BOB Ross Fanclub here in the winner bracket semifinal at the end of the storm, North America. And we're going to jump right into our first map, Sky Temple. Game number 1 of the day, everybody. We are looking at Sky Temple, the first map between the BOB Ross Fanclub and Team Blaze. We are in the winner bracket of in the semifinal of the winner bracket here at the end of the storm playoffs, North America version, of course. And to the left side of the map, we are looking at McIntyre on Tassadar for the BOB Ross Fanclub. Today, they're going to try once again to paint us a pretty picture. Kenma on Rhaegar, we have Zuna on Jaina, Arthalon on Reyna, and Erho on Muradin. To the right side of the map, it's you on Uther, we have Jason on Sylvanas, and Team Blaze is playing it with Robocopter on Kel'Thas, Battery on Leoric, and Cledeus on Thrall. So, yep, there we go. Okay, so we have Zuna and everybody else already rotating around up to the top lane. It's again the attempt to burst down a tower, as I already said before. If you run a Sylvanas in your midst, then that's what you want to do. And they're leading it with the Chain Lightning. 2 different builds on Thrall these days. One Chain Lightning build and the other one more focused on the Wind Fury talents. And as it happens, in this case, we have the Seas Marksman build with Wind Fury, probably taken on level 7, 13, and 16. It's at least how the build usually runs, in a very early pause already, which gives us at least a chance to talk a bit about the talents here. And we have already the Spirit Walker's Grace right there with the Chain Heal, with the mana reduction. We're seeing Deep Chill still taken. It's one of the things that I pointed out yesterday, that a lot of the players switched over to Lingering Chill because of that nerf in the last patch. On the other hand, when you're looking at the BOB Ross Fanclub, they play it still with this same talent, so they go still for the Deep Chill. It's mostly Zuna that plays Jaina for them, and yep, you have him on Jaina again. So he's the one who still prefers that talent. Cledeus here going down. He's already eliminated, so that was a fast one. And at the same time, we have the Fel Infusion on Rufflecopter's Kel'Thas. So going into those extra heals, not bothering even with the Mana Addict. And my apologies, Thrall actually went for the Rolling Thunder on level 1. I kind of mistook that a bit when I looked at the talent. So he does not go for the Seasoned Marksman build with the Wind Fury focus that we would see. But instead it's the Rolling Thunder build. You go on level 4, on level 1 on level 4, oftentimes then later on during the talent build on level 16 you go for the lightning talents, and on level 7 it's normally follow through. So you just like try to spam your abilities and then get those auto attacks in so that you get a maximum amount of damage. That's the whole thought process behind the build. It also keeps you at a bit of a distance to your opponent, so you can just like spam these in from the range, which is actually pretty sweet, and you're not so dependent on the Seasoned Marksman stats. Both of the builds are absolutely fine. Oh, already Rufflecopter in a bit of trouble. He could be stunned out here, and yes, the kill against Khaldor. Job well done. Erho jumping in here at the end as well, and now Zuna and Muradin starting to move away, but 2 kills already for the BOB Ross Fanclub. And let's just keep in mind how strong these guys played yesterday when they defeated one of their opponents in, I think, under 10 minutes. It was absolutely insane. It was really well played. So far, they have an absolute insane track record in the entire End of the Storm. I mean, throughout the 4 qualifiers that they played and yesterday in the first round of the winner bracket, they haven't lost a single map. I think there's something along the lines of 22 map wins and 0 losses, which is, of course, absolutely crazy. For now, we have Erho moving into the mid lane. At the top, they already soaked a fair amount of tower shots, but they want even more. 5 versus 4, the levels in the game, and that, of course, means extra talents here. Tassadar, by the way, did not go for the structural shield on level 1 that you definitely can take on this map, but goes for the normal build with the Conjurer's Pursuit on level 1 and the Leeching Plasma. Thanks to Conjurer's Pursuit, especially in the later stage of the game, you're going to have a lot of mana. There's a couple of reasons why you would sometimes go into the Storm talent, the mana infusion there. Oh, nice! The kill against Thrall. 3 kills against 0. We might see Erho die. Rufflecopter wants him, and he is going to get him. No way! No, he dies after all. That would have been a bit too much. Got envenomed earlier as well, so yeah. The Boundless Conviction taken on level 4. But as I was saying, like, the reason why you would sometimes go into that Storm Infusion talent on level 1 for the extra mana with the Storm is mostly that you are trying to play with a lineup that has to push in the early stage of the game. And that talent gives you more mana early on, a little bit less later if you compare it to the Conjurer's Pursuit. The Barbed Shot as the talent, Sylvanas again for level 1. You're seeing also the Fealty onto Death, no Hardened Bones, which is pretty much the established standard talent to get on Leoric. And we have now the Ghastly Reach, usually on level 16. That means that we're going to see the renewed swing for the double swing here. But if you talk Fealty onto Death, then you of course have a bit more sustain here. The thing is though, that at the same time also, as a solo tank in this setup, Leoric is not going to have the easiest time. That Thrall at his side definitely helps, but still. On level 7 now, Kala's Embrace, which makes for absolutely great healing power, with a Feral Heart and also Cleanse now taken. We have already a setup for the double support here that allows to keep all of these heroes alive during most of the fights for a long time. It's a very sustainable setup. And of course, as we saw yesterday and in the recent past, we have a focus on the Ice, or the Frostbolt talents. Frost Shards and Ice Lands are the talents on level 4 and level 7. It's actually like pretty common over here, and we now have a bit of a fight going straight for that Bruiser camp, but so far the Bruiser camp is still taken by the red team, and we're having everybody else rotating into the middle. So we have a 3 kills against 1, right? But overall, it looks like we have still the exact same amount of experience. Zuna is getting rather low here, and he needs to be a bit careful, but Battery on his Leoric needs to Wraith walk out of that and retreats immediately. Rufflecopter close to dying, but that last penetrating round of Reyna did not really drop him, so he could well up again, and everybody is starting to move down to the bot lane since there is another temple just spawning out. But we have one hero actually starting to change this up a little bit, and that's, well, first of all, Reyna is dying here. Great kill, great move on the side of Team Blaze. And to the top lane, Zuna is taking care of that camp that was taken earlier, so that allows him to now go straight in and get a bit more experience for his team. But of course, at the same time, it means that they can't fight for the temple at the bot lane, and therefore all of the shots are now fired against the structures of a team BOB Ross. And this is starting to become a bit annoying for them because, to be honest with you, they're going to fall behind in experience here quite significantly. And that is not really easy to deal with. I mean, they soak experience on 3 lanes, but from a structural point of view, they lose a lot here right now. They're already down 1 fort, and they're going to lose a few more things in the mid lane now as well, as of course the temple is refocusing its attention. At the top lane, Zuna is at least trying to drop a fort as a compensation for that, but it doesn't really look... Oh, the Entomb! The heroics are in, and they go for a kill against Zuna, and a great Entomb being used by Battery. Very often when there is a Leoric solo, you will see him with the March of the Black King to give him some extra sustain during the team fights. But Entomb is a very popular talent on the Chinese server and on the North American server. Europe, for example, give you another just example of how regions differ in the way that they play heroes. Europe more or less completely disregards Entomb. It's mostly March of the Black King. It's basically only March of the Black King that you see there. But on the North American and the Chinese scene, Entomb is a talent that's taken very often. You just saw why. We also have Sundering now, of course. We see Phoenix. We saw it already in action. Divine Shield and Wailing Arrow on their side. And to the left, we have the Force Barrier. Or the Force Wall, at least for now. Maybe on level 20 we'll see the Force Barrier. We have also Ancestral Healing, Water Elemental, Hyperion, and Avatar chosen as the talents. And the heroes are just like shifting around again, especially when we're looking into the mid lane. There's a bit of an aggression going on with Battery and Newt, but also up to the top, that's once again where we have Cladeus with his Thrall. I'm liking that Thrall skin, by the way. Still thinking about getting that for myself, because, oh, we all know there's a big sale going on right now. Oh, here comes the Force Wall. Cladeus moves away, and he used the Sundering, which for some reason glitched out and wasn't even visible. But he still dies, so Thrall is dead, and we see Battery about to die. Nobody is close enough to really drop those last few remaining hit points. 4 kills against 3 in favor of the BOB Ross Fanclub, but we have now still that lead in experience for the opponent, and one of the camps pushing the bot lane, Uther in the middle, trying to go for the next fort. Can't actually imagine why he doesn't go in and just simply takes that. It looks like an easy kill, but at the top lane, of course, they're in a bit of trouble there. Once again, Entomb being used, but this is a pretty big fight. Rufflecopter, it's the wrong direction, buddy. You are going the wrong way. He realizes it as well and turns around, but here comes now the 5 versus 5 fight, and McIntyre is really low. Battery with the Wraithwalk moving in immediately, trying to also go straight for the Drain Hope. Erho in some trouble, but the Wolf is missing, and now they are moving in again, and they're slow. This is looking really strong. Battery dying, though. Nobody there to dish out the damage, and one of the biggest problems is really that Chain Bombs isn't ready yet. Yu is moving away. Divine Shield is still available, so they could use that. But it's level 12.5 versus level 12, 5 kills against 3, and the bot lane is still pressuring. So they will at least be able to put some damage on those structures, and that's actually extremely important since we are, of course, on Sky Temple, and that's a map where those temples are going to deliver the final shots then. Talking temples, we have one in the middle of the map, and that's where Rhaegar is currently doing his thing, and Entomb could isolate him, but Battery isn't fast enough. Those level 13 talents are getting really close now. We have against the attack in the middle of the map. There's already Battery starting to soak the next few shots. Level 13 talents, can they soak them? Can they send somebody into the mid lane just for a few seconds and get that? They're trying to go for the kill instead, and the Entomb hits 2. They kill Zuna, and they take down Rhaegar. Level 13 talents now. McIntyre is already on the run, and Team Blaze, they get a triple kill out of this. Very well played here. They have the level 13, and now they can rotate for boss. They can go for the temples. They can do whatever they want here. They have the chain bombs finally. They even attempt to drop Arthalon now, and Arthalon could... Yeah, he is not going to make it. Or is he? No way. Chain Lightning. Cladeus, is he? No. Oh, there we have it. Chain Lightning hitting Reyna, taking him down. And now Thrall is just defending as the rest of the team is focusing on the boss. We have also on Thrall now, after those talents that I mentioned already earlier, the Lightning plus the follow through. We have him with the spell shield against the setup with Jaina in particular. Up at the top, you have to fight again in level 13 talents now for both of them. Look at that heal, Ancestral Healing saving Muradin. They jump in to drop Thrall, and they do. Thrall is down. Uther is moving to the top. He tried to go for the temple at the bot lane, maybe a little bit too early. Nice heals though, but it could be still the end of Rufflecopter. He's trying to get the chain bombs in, and he dishes out a lot of damage, but we have still everybody is so low. Battery moves in. They go for Zuna. Zuna gets a shield, is about to die, trying to get away here, but no, the Drain Hope finishes him off, and Kenma is also starting to struggle. Can they get that stun in? Yeah, their Haunting Wave alone is already enough. 10 kills against 7, and guys, this might be the first loss for BOB Ross Fanclub in the history of the Enter the Storm North America. They have not lost a map in this entire tournament yet. They go down to the bot lane now, Team Blaze. We have the boss already on the keep, so that has to be defended. And this is starting to look really bad. Jason is rushing away from Erho, who's attempting to take him down, but the first keep is falling. The first keep is definitely not going to make it. Great job here by Team Blaze. They have the lead in this particular map now, but can they really finish it? That's of course the big question here. Damage, Thrall on 20,000, 27 on Kalthas, 26 on Tyrande. And when we're looking for, of course, Zuna in particular on his Jaina, he's at 25,000 damage now. So pretty solid performance with 10 kills against 7. Definitely very well done by Blaze, but they haven't won the game just yet. So they go in once again. Another camp has been taken. Both of the teams actually aiming for camps now. Mercenary camps at the bot lane and the Bruiser camp up to the top. Level 16 talents now also in play with the Benediction. And again, as predicted, the Forked Lightning, the level 16 talent going straight into the Chain Lightning here. We're seeing Benediction now for the heals, and that's of course going to be pretty cool for Thrall. Push in the mid lane. And with that, we are also seeing the Arcane Barrier that is going to help to keep Rofocopter alive. Dropping the Phoenix for the extra damage. McIntyre soaks the damage that the structure is not being attacked. But the team is still pushing in, and we have still those mercenary camps pushing, and that destroys a fort up at the top. But the fight over here is still starting. Erho needs to move away. Sylvanas, of course, is allowing him to push him pretty fast now. Can just disable the structures, and with a Shadow Dagger, that's exactly what we see happening here. They try to go for another keep as they have the level 16 talent advantage. Erho gets healed with a great ancestral healing. Really well done. Yesterday, Kenma was in a bit of trouble, but Zuna again being attacked here. Even the Force Wall used. Nice move by Tazana. I'm loving it. Making sure that nobody can get close. Now Thrall is down. Divine Shield on Kalthas. He runs into the wrong direction again, trying to, of course, save some time for the rest of the team to escape here. But this is starting to look quite bad for Team Blaze. They are losing 3 of their heroes as battery dies, and of course the rest is still able to move away, but it's a triple kill against them, and that's an opportunity now for Team the BOB Ross Fanclub, and they are starting to go up to the top lane to make that opportunity a reality and take this down. We have Prescience Interdimensional Warp taken on level 30 and 16 for Tassadar. It is Healing Surge and Tidal Waves. Not really, well, we very, very, very rarely see different talents taken on Rhaegar right now. It's just such a great amount of heal that you get out of this. The Healing Surge alone already with that extra heal, and then the Tidal Waves with the cooldown reduction in those team fights is pretty sweet. Muradin, by the way, going straight on level 13 into the Burning Rage with the Stone Form on level 16. He now has that survivability. And also one of the heroes that we should probably point out is Reyna, who did not really feel the need to go into the Giant Killer talent on level 13 and instead started straight with a double penetrating round thanks to the double barrel, and we're having now the Bullseye also taken on 16. So it's a pretty cool game that we are seeing now. It's still 2 of the 4 keeps eliminated, but this team fight could change things once again. 17 versus 18. We have everybody moving for the temple once more, and right now this is looking, or starting to look, pretty decent for the BOB Ross Fanclub, but they nearly lose Tassadar here in the backline. Those chain bombs are wrecking them. A great move against Zuna, even the Sundering coming into play, but Zuna survives this time, and now they turn it around and drop Sylvanas. There's the Divine Shield. It hit Thrall on the other hand, was supposedly supposed to hit Sylvanas, but didn't. It's a triple kill against them, and Thrall himself is also dying. Therefore, a quad kill, and the BOB Ross Fanclub, they are rotating. They don't even go for those temples. They move to the top. They want to eliminate one of the keeps first. I highly doubt that they can go for core right now. I mean, Leoric should be back, and I'm not quite, well, actually it's 28 seconds. Can they really burst it down fast enough? They might be able to make that work. Leoric should be back in time. We have Sylvanas. No, they have enough time. They can do it. They can actually do it. They can go for core. There's only Uther there, and they might be able to just finish the game. It looked so bad for them in the mid-game. They were so far behind all of a sudden, and now they go for core, and Sylvanas is going to be back in another 5 seconds. There's absolutely no way this is going to end in favor of the BOB Ross Fanclub. They continue the winning streak, and it is absolutely amazing. They take it. Game number 1 ends in their favor. Sky Temple, the BOB Ross Fanclub, in the lead against Team Blaze. Game number 2 happens on Dragonshire, guys. So we are currently looking at our second map, and well, as it happens, they already started the draft, so BOB Ross Fanclub is in the lead. They took it from Team Blaze on Sky Temple. We already have bans on Tyrande and Zagara, so Zagara was banned out. It really looks like the BOB Ross Fanclub doesn't really respect Khaldor too much. It worked out in the last game for them. Now Blaze again taking the hero, and the BOB Ross Fanclub had a chance for their double pick, so they started things off once more with the Mirrodin. We don't really know what they picked second, but I suppose it could be that Jaina again. So far they play her a lot, but it is a Sylvanas very early in the draft here already, so they will try to get that Jaina maybe a bit later. For now we have also Leoric and Reyna played for Team Blaze. So high focus on damage in the early stages. Team Blaze again not going into that ETC plus Uther, which they could have chosen. It was for a long time really just like the comp. You would go into ETC, you would go into Uther and try to get the Divine Shield Mosh Pit. And we still see it a lot, but we see the drafts every now and then now moving away from it a bit. The BOB Ross Fanclub again with a target ban. They know that Team Blaze likes to play Zeratul, that they played Zeratul a lot yesterday as well. So they banned Zeratul out. And then, well, we'll of course see what Team Blaze is going to ban out. Because there's definitely a couple of options. You can ban Uther, you can ban Jaina, you can ban something completely different like a Tassadar here, but I would suppose that Uther and Jaina are the most likely heroes that we're going to see now with the ban. You could even go into, if the BOB Ross Fanclub plays, for example, the Divine Shield with Sonya, they could use that as well. And Uther therefore is banned because he kind of works with anything out there. So the BOB Ross Fanclub, maybe still again with that Jaina that they already used in the last game. It was a little bit tricky for Zuna to get away from that, entomb that Blaze already threw out there in the entire time. But right now we have Leoric still as the solo tank for Blaze, so they will maybe add something else as well. But the BOB Ross Fanclub definitely with the option to go into very similar setup that they had in the last game. That Sylvanas, on the other hand, that they now secured for themselves is going to help them heavily with the control during the dream fights, and also of course with the pushing power. Once that you have a Dragon Knight and you can still disable all of these towers. What is one of the biggest problems that you have with the Dragon Knight? You have the Dragon Knight and you're trying to move in, but the fort is attacking you, it slows you down, and then you can not get all that extra attack damage out there. If you have a Sylvanas that just simply uses the Shadow Dagger, she can disable the fort, the Dragon Knight moves in, there's no slow on the auto attacks, and it's going to be absolutely amazing how much damage you can dish out. So a Sylvanas here makes perfect sense and is actually very cool. Jaina, as expected, is going to be the hero. And now the BOB Ross Fanclub can, of course, think about, again, the Tassadar, the Rhaegar that they used in the last game. Both of the heroes work here. Zagara has been banned out, so she's not an option. It's that charism, though, that they really want to play. In the last game, Team Blaze banned him out, but this time they, of course, banned out Uther since they didn't have a hero or healer themselves yet. And for now, Team Blaze, well, they need to have a little bit... They don't really have a lot of synergy, I want to say, here in this setup. Of course, Reyna with the Hyperion can also add to the pressure whenever you get the Dragon Knight, and even before, you can use the Hyperion and just push in heavily. And for Leoric, same is true. He has still a lot of wave clear. Got, of course, nerfed in one of the previous patches, but that still works. Jelly Belly, dude, thank you very much for the support, my friend. Thanks for that. Somebody else is excited about the games, apparently, here. And I'm excited about the potential winning streak here, to be honest.
You are by far the best caster of Hot Soul Time. Keep up the amazing work, man. Much love from Sweden.
Well, thank you very much for that, my friend. And yeah, big shout out to Sweden. You guys have pretty awesome food, by the way. I'm not even talking about the meatballs. There's some kind of like meat that we got the last time we were there for Frag Bite, and it was very, very awesome. But I forgot the name already. I'm really horrible at that, but it was brilliant. Could drown me in that stuff, and I would die happily. So, Sweden, by the way, is supposed to be really cold right now. I heard they have like one of the coldest winters in a long time. Team Blaze, on the other hand, they are trying to keep blazing. We have Thrall now, again, without the Uther. That makes a Rhaegar very likely. Team Orc. Do we get that SM Orc combo? Rhaegar and Thrall. It's going to be the Orcs that are trying to dominate the next game. Who else would you play if you're trying to keep a melee assassin alive? I mean, Uther's already out, Charism as well. You're not really going to go into Malfurion with this, right? I mean, he has great area heals and can really be nice, but if you want to have one of those burst heals, one of those panic buttons, and the ancestral healing, it's just good enough. It's, by the way, the exact frontliner combo that they used in the last game, Thrall plus Leoric. But Blaze might not go in the Rhaegar after all. They're waiting very long for this one. Nope, there he is. It is the Orc style. Alright, I'm liking that. Green Jesus and Green Moses are now both in play. The Church of Rhaegar is going to be very happy about that pick. Yeah, and that being said, the BOB Ross Fanclub with their last pick now. And on their side, we could see again that Tassadar, it really came through for them on the last map. It grants great vision on the map, which is always a plus, and they have the shields as well. If they feel that they have enough damage, they can go for it. If they don't think that they have, then they could run this also, of course, with, first of all, a melee assassin on their own. Can work out. If you have that Muradin that carries them and you try to play a Carrigan, you can do it. You could play a Falstad in this case, so Tassadar, Falstad, Carrigan would be very solid options here, depending on how you want to play it. It's a Tyrael though, and well, that means we have a double front line. It fills a similar role like the Tassadar. Of course, it's not quite the same thing, duh, but you have a lot more protection thanks to the shield. You have a frontliner that keeps Sylvanas and Jaina safe. Karazim, of course, is also up at the front and can really help out with it. The Tyrael is actually pretty sweet here. I'm kind of liking that pick a lot. Actually slipped my mind that Tyrael is still available here, so that is a very good pick that they had. Again, ETC, by the way, neglected. And somebody already earlier made the joke that the meta is apparently like moving away from from the cow. So yeah, ETC not taken here. And Tyrael instead, which is of course a very aggressive and mobile hero as is. But yeah, this is going to be a good one. So we have another like great draft for match number 2. Dragonshire is going to come up next, ladies and gentlemen, and let's find out if Team Blaze can tie the series of the BOB Ross Fanclub takes this one with a 2-0. The second game takes place on Dragonshire. After Sky Temple, where we had that comeback, we now have on Dragonshire again the game starting. And to the left side, it is the BOB Ross Fanclub. They are in a 1-0 situation against Team Blaze. And as you can see here, McIntyre is playing Tyrael. We have Kenma on Karazim to the left, Zuna on Jaina, Arthalon is playing Sylvanas, and Erho is playing Muradin. To the right side of the map, Jason on Kel'Thas. We have Rufflecopter on Reyna for Team Blaze. You on Rhaegar. We are seeing Cladeus playing Thrall, and Battery is playing Leoric. So, this is definitely not quite the situation that Team Blaze was hoping for. In the last game, they were actually quite far ahead in the mid-game. But then the team control, the fight control was just like so much better from the opponent. Once again, Thrall is being played, and once more it is the Chain Lightning build over the potential Wind Fury Seasoned Marksman build that we sometimes see. We have a Seasoned Marksman, but it's not on Thrall, it is on Reyna. Again, we have Reanimation for Leoric and Mana Addict this time on Kel'Thas. So, a bit of a switch there. Jason actually on Kel'Thas this time, and he's playing it not with the Fell Infusion that we've seen, but it is the Mana Addict that helps, of course, also with their shield then later on. The rotations are happening, and Battery is starting to take some hit points away from McIntyre's Tyrael right away. We have, of course, once more the Barb Shot taken for Sylvanas and the Deep Chill for Zuna on his Jaina. It's his preferred build. We've been going over the different talents that he can take on the hero on level 1, so I don't think we have to reiterate the same thing again. I think we mentioned it even in the last game at that. Already Jason just like flying in again on his Vulture. Rufflecopter coming in from behind. Nice. Tries to get some damage in, but Rhaegar is in trouble. Does Erho have the Stormbolt? Doesn't look like he does. Well, here comes the jump with Erho and the stun after all. The kill against Rhaegar. The Orcs already in trouble. Oh my god. And now they are getting completely trapped. Zuna is dead. And Erho tries to jump out. Stuns one. Nope, not gonna work. Pretty big. Wow, that was a big freeze that we had there a second ago. But it's a triple kill after all. Even the game was shocked. Yesterday we experienced quite a bit of server troubles. Like all of the players dropping. I don't think that we have that happening today here. But yeah, the game was apparently pretty shocked as well, because that triple kill, that turned fast. And that's now also a Dragon Knight. So from getting the first blood in the game to losing 3 heroes and losing the Dragon Knight, that was really a quick turnaround that we saw there. And Rufflecopter is moving in and starting to take down towers as fast as he can. Of course, Thrall and Leoric are still taking the lane presence. We have that heartbeat on lanes to get the experience. And the rotation with the level 4 talent now also in the hands down to the bot lane. We have, of course, again the Lightning taken for Cladeus. He's currently going to ride the Lightning and the Rolling Thunder, the 2 talents that he chose to take on level 1 and level 4. With the Feral Heart giving the sustain to Rhaegar that he needs. Talking Rhaegar, he's already in the mid lane, busy again in that 3 versus 3 situation. And Kenma is taking a lot of damage here. Battery is attempting to slow them down, and Arthalon, of course, has to jump away. But they could theoretically try and lock Kenma or Zuna down. There's still Thrall, so you need to be a bit careful. Rufflecopter destroyed both of the towers at the bot lane. And all of this results now in that much, much earlier level 6 even on the side of Team Blaze. So they get off with a very good start here again. I have to highlight once more, because it's just such an impressive feat, that the BOB Ross Fanclub has not lost a single map yet in the End of the Storm, and that includes the qualifiers. We're not only talking about the playoffs here, it includes the qualifiers. Talent choices on level 4 now, the Vampiric Strike for Teriel. He definitely wants to be in everybody's face, and of course, like in a fight itself, that gives you quite a bit of sustain. Personally, I'm not quite sure if with a Charism around I would have really gone into Vampiric Strike. That amplified healing is a really powerful talent if you have those passive heals just going strong throughout the entire match. Oftentimes that's also the reason why you see Regeneration Master on level 1 for Teriel, but here we have the extra damage. The kill potentially, yes, against Khaldor. Well done here. Good job. Khaldor's already down, and we could see another one, but Airhorn needed to move away since he was starting to get very, very low. Did not get an opportunity to stay in the fight a bit longer and wait for his cooldown on the Stormbolt to be gone so that he can push that in. At the top lane, Battery and McIntyre, they are starting to do their thing as well. There's still, of course, the experience stands for them. Follow through after all those abilities. And this is a pretty cool build. I mean, I've been going over it in the last game, but in case that you're a little bit newer to the way that Sol is played now after the patch, I want to highlight it again. What does Follow Through do? Follow Through gives you more basic attack damage after using ability. And that Ride the Lightning, first of all, you have 2 charges because of that. And also, let's not forget that we are having in this situation a very low cooldown on the Chain Lightning as is compared to other abilities. So Thrall is just during battles always trying to just get that damage out. He's going to use one of his Chain Lightnings, hits with an auto attack, uses the next Chain Lightning, hits with an auto attack, tries to use that again. And that is just exactly what we're going to see. Also, of course, the Wolves are another thing where you can get that same extra damage out of the auto attacks. And if you do that all over and over again, have good mechanics, you can get insane damage out there. So Claudeus will have to showcase that, and then they should be absolutely fine. We have the BOB Ross Fanclub catching up in experience, and they're doing quite well with it. The talents are exactly the same, 7 versus 7. And that leaves us, in this case, again with the Ice Lance after the Frost Shards. Unstable Poison, of course, the talent taken on Sylvanas, and Thrall is down. Green Jesus is dead. Yu on Rhaegar, oh, is also eliminated here. People argue a little bit that you shouldn't really call him Green Jesus, but more so Green Moses, because he's splitting the enemy lines with his Sundering. And I guess they have a fair point there, but of course it's more of a World of Warcraft reference than anything else. For now already, Battery moving in. Aho is trying to fight that here, but the Wraithwalk is saving Battery. They're still playing that solo frontliner. I mean, they have Thrall too, but when it comes to tanks, they only have one. And there's the attempt to go for... Yeah, they get one, aren't they? Yeah, they get it. Aho gets the Dragonite. They get the Dragonite, and now, of course, the opportunity to just go in with that Sylvanas and try to disable the structures. We've been talking about it. So far, it's not only about the tower, so it's not really that crucial yet. But later on, when you're trying to drop a few of the forts or even keeps, the big problem that you oftentimes have with the Dragonite is that once you start moving in, the keep or the fort attacks you, you get slowed with the auto attacks, and that's of course very annoying. You already dish out a massive amount of extra damage against structures, which is why you never really should brawl with heroes unless you get a guaranteed kill. But if you go in and disable the structure with Sylvanas first, then you are in a position where you can at least get that sweet extra, like the normal attack speed. Great kills here. They went deep for Sylvanas, but they lost Thrall, and they nearly lost Leoric. Great Haunting Wave here in the end. 7-sided strike as the heroic ability on Charism. Sanctification on Tyrael, and the fight just continues with Hyperion coming to play now. Ruffle Copter once again moving straight in. Has the Mechano Spider here. Reminds me a little bit of that Will Smith movie, The Wild Wild West. That's exactly what that is right now. We have one of the mechanical spiders, and we have that Marshall Reyna skin, so that works out quite well. Maybe he's a fan, or it's just a coincidence, who knows. For now, it's level 10 versus 10, the Sundering, and this time it is the March of the Black King. So I've been talking about that self-sustain as the solo warrior a bit during the last match, and that's exactly what he's aiming for now. So Leoric will be able to just stay alive a bit longer during these battles if he uses that heroic ability well. And we have still Avatar, Wailing Arrow, and we talked about a few of those, and the Ancestral Healing is of course going to try and keep them alive. But the BOB Ross Fanclub, they turned the game again. At the beginning of the match, they were struggling a bit, but they are now a level ahead. Not quite, but pretty close. And with this, they are starting to move down to up to the top lane. They have heroes still in the middle. Actually, it looks like, well, Muradin might be in a bit of trouble, but nah, he still has his Dwarf Toss and he can jump away. But the rotations are still ongoing. And with that, the whole idea is, of course, to burst down a structure with the help of Sylvanas. If you get the opportunity to do that, they need to go down to the bot lane as well, because there is still one Siege Giant camp that is completely pushing this in. And Zuna is already working on camp number 2 to secure one for them. For now, all is good, and well, in terms of damage, to give you a bit of an idea, in case they're curious, Sylvanas is taking crown. Actually, it's Reyna with this 21,000 damage that has the highest damage overall in the game, but for Team BOB Ross Fanclub, it is, so far at least, still Sylvanas. Level 13 talents are now giving them a lead, and with the 13 talents we're having now again with the win taken. Also the improved ice block, mirrored in again with the area of effect damage thanks to the burning rage, and relentless plus imposing will are the talents that have been chosen here. And we are seeing everybody moving into the bot lane except for Reyna, who's still trying to secure some extra experience in the middle of the map to allow them to get to level 13 as fast as possible. Battery, Jason, Claudeus and you are starting to just move in, and they aim once more for the Dragonite. But Reyna actually taken out by the rotation. At the bot lane, still a bit of damage in the attempt to go for a shrine. Level 13 talents aren't there yet. Reyna down, and that is of course a tricky spot. And with him dying, that is going to be another Dragonite most likely. Sylvanas even taken out, and that's a bit of a setback. That's actually something that they tried to avoid. At the top lane, just the shrine was just taken. Now Leoric is taking the one down to the bot lane against Kenmod. He's trying to. Nobody's able to move in the middle to get the Dragonite at this point. Here comes that sustain again. Get some hit points back. Battery is moving in once more. Kenmar still on the shrine, and it is going to be the Dragonite. The rotation happened. Kenmar was able to just like hold this long enough, and with the sustain that he had on this, he was allowing them to get the Dragonite. And now Zuna is moving into the mid lane, destroying the well, trying of course to use the opponent's attention, just like move away from this one. We have the level 10, level 13 abilities in with the chain lightning, the chain bombs finally taken, double barrel, crushing hope taken on Leoric, and Thrall once more with the safety net thanks to the spell shield that he chose as his level 13 ability. The rest of the team is moving down to the bot lane. A bit of a defense happening for the BOB Ross Fanclub, and Zuna just focusing the opponent's attention on himself. At the top lane, he's starting to pressure the structures, as Aho now at the bot lane is attempting to just go in with Kenmar and Arthelon to drop one of these. One of the issues, of course, that they still have, or one of the things that they can still do, is use Arthelon to push this back, but there is a rotation happening. It also means that at the top lane, Zuna can now just like poke a bit more with that wave that just moved in. A lot of damage here against the fort. Claudeus the only one fighting against him, but at the bottom lane, there comes the Ancestral Healing, saving Rhaegar after that 7-sided strike got activated. Level 15 versus level 14. Aho needs to jump away. At the top lane, we see that Fort's still alive. Zuna is still fighting Thrall. And the rotation is happening for Team Blaze. They want Zuna. And they go in and they find him. Water Elemental has immediately been used. Jason is now also going in. He, of course, needs to somehow get maybe the damage in. Or at least the Gravity Lapse. Again, the Phoenix. And the rotation works against them. They lose the first hero right away. And they could lose Jason too. Yep, he's going to fall as well. The Kel'Thas Ragdoll already being thrown around here. And we have a double kill against them instead of that secured kill against Zuna. Very well done here, actually, from the rest of the team. Just like rotating in. Was a bit of a weird move by Kel'Thas to not just go straight in together with Reyna. I feel they had a very good opportunity to take Jaina down, but Reyna was not really, well, he was pretty much alone when they engaged, and then the Water Elemental slowed him down. Now the level 16 talents are ready for the BOB Ross Fanclub, and they are still in the 1-0 lead here in this series. So for now, we have with that talent, Holy Ground taken. We're seeing again the Circle of Life here. Well, at least it should be, yep, Circle of Life plus the Northern Exposure. Muradin, of course, with the Stone Form taken, and the Cold Embrace. Sometimes we see even the Lost Soul on level 1 because it combos so well with the Cold Embrace here. Zuna looks like he's trying to time that camp even. And talking camps, after the top lane, Arthelon just bursting this away with his own talents, of course. Especially when you took on level 7 the Unstable Poison, standard talent for Sylvanas. You have a lot of pushing power, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Just eliminates the entire thing. The bot lane wave has been taken here, so at least we see another camp pushing. And now they timed this as the shrines are starting to activate, and well, with that, there is the potential for a new Dragonite. Dragonite is all that really counts at this point right now. It's going to be 16 versus 16 in talents, and the bot lane has to be defended, of course, as McIntyre is starting to jump in. They go for the shrine and start to secure that. Level 16 talents now after double barreled. We're having, again, of course, Bullseye taken, Healing Surge into Tidal Waves on Rhaegar, and now that final Lightning talent with a Fork Lightning for Thrall after the Arcane Barrier for Kel'Thas. Leoric is going into the Unyielding Despair. No, he's not! He's not going Unyielding Despair. As the only tank in the game, he doesn't feel comfortable enough to go into Unyielding Despair and get that extra damage, you know, the cooldown reduction. And instead, he moves into the Imposing Presence. Alright, that allows him, of course, to have even a bit more sustain during these fights. At least it should help him. And that just shows, again, that he has to adjust that build since he is the only tank in the game. And it's actually a smart adjustment. I'm really liking it. Normally, you would have seen without giving it any thought immediately the next Crushing Hope talent take him, but not so in here. Again, the BOB Ross Fanclub with an attempt to go for the Dragon Knight. And they are waiting here. It's going to be a big fight in the middle of the map. Yeah, and right now we have Tyrael moving in from the top. BOB Ross Fanclub has to wait for that to happen. But they can go in now. And here we have them. All 5 are moving in. Sanctification has been taken. Yes, and that's it. Sanctification Dragon is in play. Arthalon, on the other hand, in a bit of trouble, but the 7-sided strike for the zoning. Leoric, he is hitting at least some of the hits of his ultimate, but he might die after all. Sylvanas is already down. McIntyre is moving in. Here comes the Fire Breath. Well played so far by the BOB Ross Fanclub, but they lost Sylvanas, which is, of course, a setback that they have to recover from. Zuna also, well, rather low in HP here, so he needs to at least well up if they want to make this happen. But they got the Dragon Knight that help. It's actually kind of fun when you see like a Dragon Knight taken with either Sanctification or, what also works of course, is Divine Shield. It's one of the reasons why oftentimes Uther is banned out on this map. There's nothing more sillier than an entire team of 5 people trying to defend the Dragon statue in the middle, and then suddenly a hero with a Divine Shield moves in and just simply claims it. McIntyre and Erho, they are already on the move here, and that Dragon Knight is already a goner. So it didn't really do too much, but with Sylvanas dying, there was no real chance of them getting a lot of value out of this one. They still got a slight experience lead, and they are more than a level ahead. Zuna and Kenma at the top lane are now starting to rotate as well. Oh, we have these small spikes again. Servers today are a little bit iffy. This is, of course, a North America game. It's one of the... I don't know in which of the servers they played. North America, if you're from Europe, North America actually has 3 servers as far as I know. And some of them are a little bit bad for us here, for us Europeans with the connection. I think that might be one of the issues that we're having here. But for now, we have 19 versus 18. And the jump in as the camp is about to be claimed. Holy Ground is stealing it away. Nice move from McIntyre, making sure that they get the Holy Ground in. And that's, of course, a camp now stolen. And there's nothing more annoying. Like, you do all the work, and then it comes like a douchebag Tyrael and just, like, steals it away from you. The salt is real in these situations, I can tell you that much. I've been on the receiving end of that move quite a bit myself. So McIntyre is aiming straight for the next camp. And it's all about now the level 20 talents. If you have the Storm talents, then you can do so much here. And it's going to be a nice lead on the side of the BOB Ross Fanclub, and therefore they should be able to get on the back of it also another Dragon Knight. And when that happens, then you know that the opponent team is in trouble. But there's not a single keep that got eliminated yet. There's also no fort that the BOB Ross Fanclub lost, just on the side note. Again, the 7-sided strike being used. Silence thanks to the Wailing Arrow. They're starting to jump in again, and already the move here for the wall. That level 20 any second now. 1 tower is all that they need. And then we're going to have the next level for them. But they can't even kill that last tower at the bottom. They should get that talent any second now. But, yep, with a move into the mid lane, they can finally take it, I suppose. The shrines are activating as we speak. And here's the level 20 now, finally. We have the Storm talents. Transgression on Karazim. We have a double bolt of the Storm for Jaina and Sylvanas. Muradin is going straight into the Hardened Shield. And Tyrael is doing the same thing. Up to the top lane. Still the defense happening. But I want to stress that again. We do not have a keep fallen, and the big thing is, if you have a lead over and over in the game, you need to somehow capitalize on it. You cannot just simply like run and say like, okay, we have a lead, nice, that's fine, and then just simply chill. You have to really do something with it, and if we're talking about doing stuff with that, it usually means take a few of the structures down. They go into a fight 4 versus 5, now that's a bit of a ballsy move there, and Muradin pays with his life for it right away. Now I'm not quite sure what exactly he was thinking, but Arthalon was not with the team yet, so they went in 4 versus 5, and level 20s are strong, but they are not that strong usually. And this is now 20 versus 20, so we're going to fight the rest of the game on eye level. Great Storm Ball, or Ball of the Storm here by Arthalon. That was really a quick one. I mean, if that hits him, then he is toast. Nice talents here, extra sustain on Lorix thanks to the Spectral Leech. So he's going for his talent here with the Nexus Blades and the additional damage and slow for Thrall, trying to build up the momentum. And Draga, Team Orc, is going straight into the Storm Shield, and down goes again Karazim. Muradin wasn't even with him. very weird decisions on the side of the BOB Ross Fanclub at this point. I'm really struggling a bit to understand what they're doing here. The first fight cost the Muradin. It was a 4 versus 5 that they engaged into without any reason whatsoever. And then the second one right now, they lose another hero, so they find themselves in this vicious circle where they're always at least one hero down, and that's an easy Dragon Knight now for Team Blaze. Blaze is going to be happy about it. I mean, they take these kills, of course. If they present themselves, then they're going to take it. Yeah, Rufflecopter. Was he fast? Ah, that's unfortunate. Battery, actually. No, he gets it. He gets the Dragon Knight. They moved away from the shrine. What the hell is the BOB Ross Fanclub doing right now? I don't understand what's going on here. This is so weird. They get maybe the kills. Well, Rhaegar is still there. We have a 4 versus 4. Karazim and Reyna are both down. Sanctification has been taken. Deus is dead. The BOB Ross Fanclub might be winning this, and yes, they are. They take Rhaegar, so that Dragon Knight is not going to be the biggest problem. Zuna is eliminated, though, and up here we have Kalthas now falling too. They could have denied the Dragon Knight, though. They could have denied the Dragon Knight. They already channeled that temple halfway through, and in the middle, nobody was going for Dragon Knight yet, and then they moved off the shrine, and that's the only reason why Battery on Leoric was able to claim the Dragon statue. So some really interesting plays. Well, let's be honest, weird plays, but they still won the team fight after all. The Dragon Knight was not with them immediately, and they still had the heroes down to the bot lane. But if they lose that fight, then it's more or less GG already. In this case now, on the other hand, they are able to do a lot of work. McIntyre is super low, and they don't have the healer with them. Well, actually, by now they do. Kenma is in play, but they try to go for that keep. It looks like they might not even get that, though, since there is just too much. Battery is using that that fire breath whenever he can, and now Rufflecopter is back to business as well. McIntyre. Rufflecopter didn't see that, and he didn't expect it, I can tell you that much. I didn't expect that either. But that's a pretty sick twist that we have there right now. So we are in a 5 versus 5 situation again. And this is like the moment where you take a deep breath. Because the BOB Ross Fanclub, they made some very questionable choices after they hit level 20. They lost 2 heroes without a reason. They let a Dragon Knight go through. Then they won a brilliant team fight. that basically made sure that it wasn't really a big deal, but still, there were some mistakes were made. But this game is still anybody's game to take. Not a single keep has fallen, and we are 20 minutes in right now. This is a fun match, actually. It's a very fun match that we're watching here. But for once, again, we have now the rotations on the map happening up to the top lane. Sylvanas has to do Sylvanas things and take this wave apart, and Arthur has no problems whatsoever doing exactly that. Of course, we're going to take a look at the stats as well. I mean, the builds already, we've been talking over those during the entire match, but in case that you tuned in a bit later, here's the builds in case that you wonder about the talents. And of course, when it comes to the damage, there we are seeing Sylvanas with 250,000 siege damage. Yeah, that's not too shabby. When it comes to hero damage, on the other hand, that's where we're having Sylvanas, Kalthas, and Jaina up at the front. And the fight is starting again. They're going to go for the team fight here, but Blaze is in full retreat at this point and just attempting to get away. Teams are rotating over to the mercenary camps on the map. There's only one bruiser camp on the map, and that's down to the bottom of the lane, activating the shrines in another like 30 seconds. This bruiser camp is going to be pretty easy for Zuna and the rest of them to take. Actually, Zuna is moving back because the call was made. Boys, we're going to go for keep. They're trying to snipe it now, and they're going straight for it. So the keep is going to be taken down here. They take that down as fast as they can. The Hearthstones have been used to be back, but this should still be a success. Yes, indeed it is. Kelma jumps away, and we still have McIntyre over here. Report for AFK, please. Nope, back to business. Can use the holy ground, and here comes that fight now. Going in, transgression being used. So much damage already, but a nice heal. Thrall is still in game, but he is down as the wailing arrow hits him and doesn't allow him to get away. Arthurlon is escaping. Rufflecopter was trying to go in for the kill, but a bit too late. He still takes down Kenma, and he's trying to go for Arthurlon, and he gets him after all. Nice double kill by Reyna before he himself dies. Thanks to the seasoned marksman stacks, he's able to dish out a lot of damage here. And this is Blaze moving in 3 versus 3. But we saw that keep at the bot lane fall. So overall, it's still a solid position for the BOB Ross Fanclub. And they are moving with McIntyre to the top lane to at least get one of those shrines. By the way, Reyna now at 53,000 damage. And we are seeing Kalthas on 58,000. So these two heroes are really starting to carry through those team fights. Sylvanas definitely underestimating the power and damage that Reyna can dish out at this point. So yeah, Reyna got a double kill before he himself was taken out. Very, very nice move, by the way. The only hero in the entire game that hasn't died yet is Tyrael. McIntyre has not died once. So he is the only one with 0 deaths. Pretty nice. Oh, Rhaegar. Oh, that's a problem. Nice holy ground. That was a great holy ground by McIntyre. Eldruin's Smite used, and he jumps in and zones him out completely, cuts off his path of retreat, and that of course puts them into a great position to maybe even secure themselves the Dragonite. And the thing is, if they get the Dragonite now, they more or less win the game, because they already took down the keep at the bot lane, and if they can go straight for core, they should be able to dish out the damage that allows them to move in for this one. So Aho, McIntyre, and Kenma and Zuna, they start to go for the bottom shrine, but of course up at the top lane we're seeing a very similar picture here for Team Blaze. Rotations are happening. They're trying to catch somebody. But with a safe rotation to the bot lane, we could see Thrall secure this. What is Ruffle doing? Oh, whoa, dude, like that was close. Nice Bolt of the Storm. Transgression also down now, so he baited that out. But it is going to be the Dragonite. Or is Thrall? Could be a bit too late. Thrall? No. Wow. Great timing here. That was brilliant timing. But Leoric will die. He's going to be back soon, though. I mean, he's going to cheat death quite a bit. And already it's a drop against Reyna. That's a bigger problem. He has no cheat death ability. So until Reyna is back, that's going to be a full minute. We have Erho. He should be able to escape here. As long as he doesn't die, they are going to be completely fine. And of course, now the roam is going to happen. We already have the trade kicking in for Muradin. And therefore, he's going to be back to full health in no time. They're going for the bot lane. Already in the mid lane, McIntyre is in position. And this is going to be the Dragonite. And theoretically, it's going to be game. I mean, if they play this well now, they should be able to move in with the Dragonite to the bot lane. A zoning is happening here. Transgression used by Kenma. Wasn't really designed to do a whole lot of damage. It was more about making sure that Thrall wouldn't be able to follow this through and go in for the Chain Lightning. And yes, they go for core. They want to win this game. They want to win this with a 2-0. We have them moving in. Bolt of the Storm used to escape here from the Wailing Arrow, but still in the backline. There's the aggression. They try to take Zuna down. Zuna and Erho are low. This is the only chance for Blaze, but the Dragonite is moving in for the core. It's already on the core. So right over here, the Dragonite with all that extra damage is going straight for that kill. And this is not looking good for Team Blaze at all. Level 24 versus level 23. Sylvanas is down, but the Dragonite alone is just dishing out way too much damage. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is 2-0 victory for Team BOB Ross Fanclub. They move on to the winner bracket final. Congratulations, GG, and well played.
All right, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed the commentary and also the game. If you really liked it, feel free to also share it with your friends, especially, of course, if they're interested in Heroes of the Storm esports. And if you liked the video, then also hit that thumbs up button on YouTube. And if you want to support the channel and myself, then you can subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Thanks again for watching today. I really hope that you enjoyed the show. It was a pleasure casting for you. And I hope to see you guys next time with more Heroes of the Storm here on Khaldor TV.